Hello, my friends, and welcome back with another session with the older man. My name is Paul, and today I'm going to do a response video to one of my previous videos I posted on this beautiful lady in her 40s who is having a bit of a struggle, challenge. I like to use nicer words when it comes to these things, on finding a date. Let's listen to the first part of my video so that you'll understand what I'm talking about. All right, here it is.
I'm Krista Renee, and today we are talking about dating in your 40s. And when I think about dating in your 40s, the first song that came to mind was Destiny's Child, Independent Women. All my women independent, throw your hands up at me. And when I think of that, is because I feel like once women get to their 40s, and they're still dating, they're definitely independent.
I'm going to talk to you about dating as we get older. This is a strong, independent woman who's having a bit of a hard time. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to read quite a few of the responses I got on this video. Of course, you know, some of the women got a little bit ticked off, but it's good for me to respond to some of these videos because it's a great way to clarify a few points maybe I missed in the video. Some women have brought it up here, and so it's an opportunity for me to share with you a little bit more depth to this popular situation that we have going on. We have a lot more women who are becoming more successful, highly educated, and their standards are extremely high. And unfortunately, most of the success comes in their late 30s. We men know this. We men know that most of our success don't come in our 20s. 20-year-olds, that's when you make your mistakes. That's when you're hustling. That's when you have the energy and you're putting every bit of that energy into making money so that you can have a family. Women were told that they need to do the same thing. They need to hustle. They need to go to college. They need to come out and be the boss babes. Then they hit their 30s. Then they realize, holy Christ, this shit is hard. Man, no men are interested in me at this age. Yeah, there's guys that are interested in me, but these are not the men that I want. The men that I want are in their 40s who are more successful than me, and those men want the women in their 20s. That's the dilemma that most independent, successful women are having in today's day and age. So before we get into it, you guys know the drill. If you've been here before, subscribe. Most importantly, like the video. Please like the video so the YouTube algorithm will know that this is a great learning experience for you guys, and it will keep pushing my video out more and more. And of course, for those of you that have been following me, guess what? Last night I hit the 100K subscribers. Thank you so much, guys, for supporting me. Thanks for being there. I've hit that small milestone on this channel. It shows me that my hard work is paying off, and it shows me that I'm actually getting you guys information that you want. You know, I've hit over 10 million views on this channel. I've only been here a year. So I'm extremely chuffed. I'm extremely excited to be able to take this to the next level. So I want you guys to look forward to a lot more exciting things coming, especially the podcast. There's going to be an older man podcast coming up soon so that you can get information from other older men or other men who are more educated in certain subjects that I'm not. Okay? And I'm going to bring on some ladies as well, just to keep it exciting. So guys, look forward to a lot more exciting things coming up in the near future. So on another note, if you guys need any advice, any mentorships, anything to do with getting more personalized information from me, log into askanolderman.com, book a session. Very inexpensive. You can have a half an hour or a 1 hour conversation with me just to get things off your chest. If you have a problem, even if you're having, relationship issues, I can help you guys as best as I can. That's coming from a guy that has a lot of life experience. Okay? So askanolderman.com for that. But if you just have a quick question, you just want to get something off your chest, if you just need a quick response, get me over on Ask an Older Man on Instagram, send me a voice message, and I will instantly, or as quickly as I can, get a response back to you as well by voice message. I like to do voice messages. I like to hear you guys' voices, and I like to basically quickly send you a quick message back. Okay, so that's the public service announcements. All right, let's get into today's subject, responding to the ladies who have sent me their messages in response to the video I told you guys about. Okay, Noel James says, normal doesn't chart well with so-called independent, successful women, and anything that appears less is seen as settling. There is no intuition that she can grow or nurture a potential relationship. It has to be a ready-made match that doesn't require much effort. And this is the problem that she has. For those ladies who literally chastise me because I am basically breaking down the problem that she's having, and they're saying, oh, you're just criticizing women, you just being mean to women, you're a narcissist, you know, their go-to language. I'm basically saying to the woman, she has reached a point in her life where men that she wants don't want her. And she has backed herself into a corner where her requirements are so high at her age, it's literally next to impossible to find a man who wants her, that she wants. Because that's the thing. I mean, women always keep going on about, well, what I want and what I won't settle for. You do realize that this is a relationship. A relationship basically means that there's two people involved. Not anywhere in her conversation that she ever mentioned what she can do for a man. Not once. You guys can go to our channel and listen to it again and tell me I'm wrong. But I didn't see it. I didn't hear it. I listened to the whole thing. A relationship is a two-way street. I give you something, you give me something back. But all she's saying is what I want, what I want, what I want, what I want. But she never asked once, what does a man that I want would want from me? She never asked that question. And this is where women go wrong. DJ Lexar said, this is why I use my passport. And now, 18 years later, I'm still happily married and life is good because she's a woman with morals, calm, works out to stay fit, cooks without a microwave, helps run my business, homeschooling my children, and helped me start with nothing to build our empire that we now have. My dad taught me early. I'm only 37 and we are great together. Can't be with American sister. So I found an awesome sister overseas. And this is the thing, men have choices. Men can pick up and go into another country. Very easy for a man to do that. Much more difficult for females to do this. Not in countries where men are more conservative. Because if she can't agree to the conservative values that men require in a modern Western society, imagine her trying to go to a more conservative country and finding a man that's gonna comply with her liberal view.
What's the goal for tonight?
Get drunk, have a good time.
All right. What about you?
Yeah, same.
Okay. Well, now let me ask you this. What type of man do you like?
Rich.
Okay, can you describe a little more?
Let's go.
That's it? Rich, period? Okay.
Okay. Okay, so I like my man to, be funny, rich of course. Okay, let me not say that. I have a taste. I'm already married, so.
Excuse me, miss, did you just say that you are married? What, is your husband deaf and blind? Where are you going with your boobs and butt out like that as a wife, girl? Why are you even trying to be in them streets trying to get drunk, entertain other men, and have some fun? You should be on your knees at home scrubbing the floors. Wealthy men would never want to have a wife that dresses like these girls. Only 3 or 4s look like these chicks. And honestly, I'm sorry to say, but as somebody from outside of the US, it seems like only in America there are some women who have the audacity to look like pretty 3 or 4s, but they want to have a man who attends business meetings with Elon Musk. It doesn't work like that. It's such a shame because these girls are so pretty, but unfortunately hopeless.
Men in the Middle East don't put up with that crap. Oh, I'm the boss, babe. Yeah, you try that shit over here in the Middle East. You might find a few men like that, but I can tell you, he's not going to stick around for long. And if you do find that one guy and he has a lot of resources, more than likely, he'll have another woman that's much more submissive that he goes to enjoy himself. In other words, he won't be faithful. That's the reality of life. So ladies, you have to understand your value to a man is very important, but you have to understand what that man wants. If you don't think about what the man wants, then what's the sense of a relationship? What is it that he's getting out of you? You ought to understand these things. Morrison Perry says, "You are dead on, my brother." She doesn't get it. If she don't change her mindset, she will die alone or die alone with her own dogs and cats. Hey, that's the mantra these days. This lady says, may be true for some women and not true for many, who I know personally, who got married and remarried happily after 50. Listen, exceptions don't make the rule. And please note, ladies, I'm not saying it's not possible to get married after the age of 40. I'm not saying that. That has never, ever exited my mouth. I am basically saying that if your standards are so high, and you have locked yourself out of the market, you can't blame anyone else except yourself. And here's the thing, the longer you remain single, the worse it gets for you. I hate to use this analogy, but they say men age like wine and women age like milk. The longer the milk sits on the counter, the worse it gets. I know, my wife is in the corner there looking at me and I know she's frowning. but of course you ladies don't like to hear the hard truth, but that's the reality of it. Because men admire younger women. Are you denying that fact? Are you denying that fact? If you're denying that fact, then you're delusional when I tell you that the older you get, you're going to become less and less desirable for men. That's why she can't find a man at 40. Huh? So you can, just because I'm saying it and I'm throwing it in your face, doesn't mean it isn't true, is it? But women want me to say it nicely. Don't compare me to milk. I'm trying to give you an analogy so it sinks in. Point is, if you want a man, find a man who is compatible for your age and for what you want at this stage in your life. That means that he's not going to be as handsome as you would like, as successful as you would like, but make him be a man. Don't try to degrade him. Don't try to humiliate him because you're making more money than him. This is why men stay away. They're not intimidated by your money. They're put off by your attitude. Because once women reach that status, that comes with an attitude. That's where you ladies go wrong.
When I started making my own money, my whole idea of what I wanted in a man started to change. And not saying that my success defines me, but I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that it didn't boost my confidence and make me like, I don't need you. You know, I can do this on my own. I want you. And there's a difference between needing somebody and wanting somebody. When you want them, it's a choice. I'm making a choice to be with you. When I need you, it's like, nigga, I'm not going to be able to survive if I don't have you. And the need turns into something different. Like I need that spiritual connection. I need you mentally, like you have my heart and my soul now. It's not all like tangible things. When for where I am now. But yeah, it's definitely changed. I look more on the inside than the outside. It's not all about what you can do for me at this age. It's about how you can feed me.
If you can come with a cool attitude, hey, this is a man, great companion, good at home, good in bed, blah, blah, blah. Amazing time I'm having with him. Yes, I make more money than him. Let's get along together. I don't give I give him complete peace. I'm still in my submissive. I'm still a female. I don't try to be the boss and the man in the house. You should be perfectly happy with that man. But that's very difficult for women to do. Because once that emotion hits, once that argument comes up, the first thing she's gonna do is she's gonna throw that money in his face. It's my money. Don't tell me how to spend my money. Don't tell me how to do this. It's my money. It's my house. It's my this. It's my that. That is the first thing that's gonna come out of her mouth. That's what men don't want.
I got the question, y'all. Do you prefer a millionaire cheater or a loyal broke guy? And here's my answer to this. It depends on what that woman values. At this point in my life, I want a man that has integrity, that has a good character, that lives by a certain moral code. I would rather him be broke than to be somebody who's a millionaire, disrespecting me, cheating on me, and not really giving me what I desire or what I need from a relationship just because he can provide a certain lifestyle.
I want you to think about it like this. Imagine a man makes his money, builds a successful business, buys a house, and then he brings a woman in, right? And the first thing the argument comes up, he immediately starts going on about, this is my house, you don't have to do this. Men don't do that because they know that he brings the woman in, it's your house together. He already knows that, hey, you divorce, she's gonna probably get the house anyway. That's the reality of life. He's gonna get kicked out of his house. So men don't say these things when he's the one that brought the house. But when a woman knows that it's her house, that the man is stepping into, that's when the problems start. That's what she's facing. She cannot deal with the fact that she can't find a man above her level. Next comment came from Didin. She said, I disagree because in my 20s, I had no experience dealing with a man. And that is great. Let me explain. In your 20s, you shouldn't have any experience. This is where you learn with the man you're with. For some reason, you have been told, ladies, that in your 20s, you got to have as many men as you want so that when you're in your 30s, you have experience with men. Not thinking that men don't want a woman that's been ran through 10, 15, 20 times before he gets to her. Because what is she doing? She's bringing all the baggage from all of those other men that she's had into his life. No man want that shit. None. The idea is in your 20s, you find a man that you feel that you can go the full distance with, and you stick with that man. You build with him. That is how it should be done. That's how it was done in the past. That's how you should still do it. But for some reason, women feel that, hey, I'm going to wait at the finish line and I'm only going to pick the winners. First, second, third, yes, I'm going to run after him. And she's running after him with the 1,000 other women who want the first, second, and third. Not realizing, hey, let me run this race with this man from the time he's young in his 20s. Late 20s, let me run with him, let's build together. And then we move into our real life in our 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond. That's how this shit should work. Next comment. This is a gentleman, he said, it's a cold game out here right now. And the thing about it is that they're still yelling out, you ain't my damn daddy. You can't tell me what the F to do. And my favorite line of all is, you like to control people. Soon I hear these two statements, I'm gone. And this is common. The idea that a woman wants a man who makes more money than her, stronger than her, taller than her, more educated than her, right? And usually older than her. And this is a man she wants because she feels that she needs a leader to be able to educate and move her up in life. That is a superior man, whether you like that description or not. Stronger, more money, taller, etc., etc. Those are all superior qualities. But yet, when a man puts his foot down, what do you hear from modern women? You're not my daddy, you're not my this, you're not my... How is it that a man should then deal with that sort of crap? To me, that's a child. That's an immature child. And it's something that, gentlemen, you have to be aware of. You got to put your foot down early when this happens. Don't tolerate that. Next statement. Oh, this is a lady that agreed with me. Wow. Okay, this lady said, I agree with this video. I've been married for 9.5 years, married at 34. However, speaking from a medical professional standpoint, I see far more lonely men in the hospital with baby faces near death without a spouse or girlfriend in sight. Most men die alone rather than women. I wish people would be humble and realize none of us are exempt from being alone for the rest of our lives if we make wrong decisions. So, I think men should humble themselves as well, because it is far from easy for any gender in this day and age. And I agree. But here's the problem. Men who you see are alone in their old age are, number one, giving up. And you know this expression, a hermit? You know what a hermit is? This is men who basically just said, I'm withdrawing from society. In the old days, these are men that went and lived in the woods all alone, him and his dog. It's today's version of women who dying alone with their cats and dogs. But men have done this. Men can survive on their own. Men are less desirable of human interaction than women. Women are much more sociable and in need of companionship rather than men. Because men, we always had to realize that no one's coming to rescue us. That's it. We know that. That is who we are as a gender. A woman feels that she should be rescued. That's why there's so many social programs designed for women. Men know that if we don't get our shit together, we're gonna die alone. And a lot of us either resolve that in our heads or we go and find women in other countries. A lot of the men I'm sure that you're looking at that are hitting the hospital are men who don't have those options, who didn't make enough money in their early ages, who made mistakes, messed up, who didn't or wasn't capable of getting a passport and knew that they had other options. Because usually once you have a criminal record, a lot of black men had criminal records in the past. They're not able to travel outside the country. Other countries don't accept them once you have criminal records. So you got to understand, when you see a lot of these men who are dying in hospitals alone, these are men who had no options. And the last point you got to realize is that when men try to ask women for relationships and he gets refused, what else does he do? He don't have any other choice, does he? Because women's standards are so crazily high these days, it's just outrageous that men are saying, hey, you know what? I'm done. The modern term we now have is MGTOW, men going their own way. It's an acronym for men going their own way, MGTOW. This has been with us since the beginning of time. So I understand where you're coming from. Men accepted their faith a long time ago that that's the way life is. Women are the ones that are having a harder time with this problem because she has an option. She has options. All she has to do is lower her standards. That's it. There are thousands of men swiping right on dating apps. How many times does a woman swipe right? Maybe 5 to 10% of the time. Men are swiping right almost 80 to 90% of the time. This tells you something. Men aren't the problem. This comes from a lady, in my opinion, yet another man attempting to give advice to women. Men, please speak to yourselves and other men about leadership, submitting to God, and accountability. So this is just another woman who's basically saying to men, hey, stay in your lane. This is a woman's issue. Why are you giving advice on women? And you know, female logic blows my mind. Think about it right now. This woman is basically 40 years old and she is successful and she is looking for a man. She's lonely, right? She wants a man in her life. And for some reason, when a man tells her where she's going wrong, you say, I must stay in my lane? Please tell me how that makes logical sense. Please, just anywhere, anytime you want to do that, just tell me how that would make sense. And I hear this shaming language every single time with women. Why are you trying to give women advice? Because they're looking for the very thing here, right here. Me. This type of man. Men with some freaking brain. And then when these men are telling you, this is what you need to do, you're now criticizing us for telling you what you need to do, and you're the one that's in need? Please tell me how that makes sense. Jesus, man, it blows my mind. Let's continue, shall we? It seems the West has lost almost everything called family system and morals. I absolutely agree. There's nothing else to say about that. Next. Out of this whole video, woman mentioned not one thing she would do that would make a gentleman feel appreciated. I mentioned this earlier. Absolutely. Nowhere in that video she said what she would do for the man. She just said, I want. Nothing about what the man would get from her. That's bordering on the edge of narcissism and just self-indulgence to the point of turning men off. Because all the men are saying it. What is it for me? What am I going to do with a woman like her? Wake up every morning and listen to her bitch and moan? Yeah, that's what you're going to get. So, at RC said, why does a woman have to share her life with a man? Why do you feel like a woman can only be happy if she's with a man? Sexual value. So, does that mean that he respects me and he's willing to be there no matter what happens to me? Sexual value? What does it mean? He talks about women having sex with many men, but it's okay for men to have many women and spread their seeds. But remember, the seeds are not plants. They're human beings. Human beings have feelings. Okay, this is a lot to impact, and I'm going to make this the last one. She asks, why does a woman have to share her life with a man? That's human nature. I don't understand why you think that you're any different than any other social creature. Every social creature has a bond with another partner. For some reason, humans have this idea that, oh, now we're civilized, we don't need each other. Imagine if two other animal species said this. Just think about this. Imagine two other animal species, one male, one female, and the other one says, I don't need you. I don't need to breed with you. I don't need to do anything with you. Okay, what would happen to that species? Exactly what is happening to the human species right now. We're dying out. And if you haven't watched my other videos where South Korea and Japan are dying, like literally they're finished, that civilization is dying because they're not reproducing enough babies, then you'll understand what I'm saying. Because they fell for the same crap, but they're a little bit more advanced than the Western Hemisphere. But in every Western country, the civilization is dying. I'm just going to say this quickly. In order to repopulate a society, any country, each woman in that society must have 2.1 kids.
Many nations are now experiencing sub-replacement fertility, especially in Asia, which is resulting in massive social ramifications. Looking at the world map, in many advanced economies, the fertility rate is below replacement. Australia 1.58, New Zealand 1.61, United States 1.64, Canada 1.4, UK 1.56, Russia 1.5. In Asia, especially East Asia, things are looking pretty bleak. Japan 1.34, China 1.28, and Korea 0.84.
That means they cannot produce enough babies to repopulate their civilization. So the old people who can no longer have kids, they're living longer, and there's not enough young people to replace them when the old people die. That's what I'm talking about. Because feminism and this whole idea that I don't need a man, and women are like, I'm not a breeder. Why am I'm not a cow. I'm not going to breed just because society say I got to breed. That's what has happened. So we're dying. We're literally dying. The only countries that have exceeded this number are in Africa, in India. In some African nations, some women are having more than 7 kids. So their repopulation rate is far exceeding the West. Soon, we'll have much more brown people than white people in this world. I say it with a little jest, not being racist. I'm just showing you the reality of life. Okay? Just so that you understand, social interaction is what makes us humans. We're not freaking robots. Your next question, why do you feel like a woman can only be happy if she has a man? I just answered that. We're social creatures. You could be happy with another woman. I'm not saying that you just need a man. You could be happy with another woman as well. But you ever seen two women live together happily? Yeah, it's worse. All right, sexual value. So does that mean that he respects me and he's willing to be there rather whatever happens to me? A sexual marketplace value is based on your desirability by the opposite sex. Now, understand one thing, and I'll just tell you quickly. I said to my wife a couple months ago, I said, if I met you at this age, I wouldn't find you attractive. She felt a little bit perturbed by this. But the reality of it is, I wouldn't find another 50-year-old woman attractive at this age. But I love her to death because we came up over 20 years. In my eyes, I still see the woman I married 20 years ago. And because we've grown together, we know everything about each other. We have bonded on so many other levels. So our sexual marketplace is with each other. It's much more intertwined than just the physical. We've already had kids together. So all of these things have bonded us together on a much deeper level. So you got to understand what sexual marketplace value is. However, trying to find a new man that will find you attractive, the only men that are going to find you attractive are significantly older men. Men who don't want kids and men who just want someone more as a companion without the headache. So you still got to come in with an attitude that, hey, I'm still fit, friendly, feminine, and agreeable, even in an older age. And I'm saying this not only for the women, but the men also have to come in as well with that. No one wants a grumpy old man, miserable old man. Fit, friendly, masculine, right? And still agreeable. But he should come with wisdom as well. We look for different things in each other as males and females, but it's important for us to have an understanding of where our value lies to the opposite sex at a particular age. I hope I made that clear. All right, guys, listen, I don't want to drag this video out anymore. I hope that I was able to answer some of these questions that came in from in the comment section. Guys, like the video. Let me know your thoughts. Let's have a deeper discussion on these issues. And of course, whenever in doubt, always ask an older man. Okay? See you in the next one. Cheers.